Okay everybody, it's time we talk about milkshakes. I've been thinking about making this video for a long time. In actuality, as far back as my grilled cheese video a couple years ago. But circumstances have arisen, and things have finally come to a head that I can't push this subject down the road any further. Shakedown sent me a link to this toothy old man purporting to make a quality milkshake from behind his push-broom mustache and slack-jawed grin. I know why Shakedown sent me this video, and it wasn't to innocently ask me my opinion on this dude's milkshake, as his coy subject line might suggest. It was to incite me, and incite me it did. I'm shocked at the number of eating establishments, notably diners, that no longer offer milkshakes as menu items. No ice cream is the usual reply while offering pie a la mode, or a scoop of ice cream as a paltry dessert item. I recently sat at the counter in a diner, an experience in which I reveled until I ordered a milkshake and was told they don't make milkshakes. Then what's that for? I said, pointing to the milkshake machine an arm's length from my stool. That's just for decoration. And anyway, we don't have any ice cream. The few places I found that did still make milkshakes made poor excuses that didn't nearly pass the fork test. What's the fork test, you ask? It's simple enough. If a fork can't stand up on its prongs in your milkshake, you've been cheated. Not stand for half a second and slowly drift to the rim of the glass. Stand indefinitely. There's a school of thought that the spoon test is as good a measure as the fork test. I do not hold to that position. Some say the prongs of the fork create surface tension across the milkshake and is as good as a spoon or even better. Better than the closed end of a spoon? Nope. Fork test. Now I realize I may be getting ahead of myself. Perhaps I should backtrack a moment and define what I mean by milkshake. It's a sad state of affairs that I have to do it, but I'll do it anyway. Ice cream and milk. That's it. Maybe a bit of malt powder. Nothing else. No syrup, no chunks, no shit. It may seem excessive to define what I mean by ice cream, but unfortunately it is not. Ice cream. Quality ice cream. Not ice cream product. Not own brand or discount ice cream that has replaced the raw ingredients necessary to make ice cream with fillers, stabilizers, and thickeners. Hard ice cream, not soft serve crap. Quality, hard ice cream, and milk. I'm resisting the urge to go off on another rant, but a British milkshake is not a milkshake. For those who haven't been duped by this snake oil bullshit, let me elaborate for your future reference. A British milkshake is flavored powder and milk mixed with a spoon. Think Nestle's Quick or cold Ovaltine. They come in odd synthetic flavors like banana and tutti frutti, along with chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. Steer clear. You usually find them in a dead high street or a dying seaside caf. Not cafe. No, we dropped the French pronunciation for such establishments. If you find yourself in such a place desperate for anything to eat, you haven't found some oasis of delight when you see milkshake on the menu. It's a lie. The distinct lack of milkshake machine whirring in the background should be evidence enough. Don't be tricked by the high price thinking, it's gonna be a proper milkshake, look at the price. You shouldn't be in the caf to begin with. Don't rub salt in your wounds. Now back to the subject at hand. No embellishments. A milkshake is special on its own merits. No dressing it up. Whipped cream, maybe, and only from the rim of the glass upwards. No subterfuge with hiding some lack of product. An artificially red cherry that stains the whipped cream as it settles down into it shows a dash of aesthetic flair while respecting the minimalism of the shake. It must be served in a tall, tapered glass. The extra shake served in the frosty steel cup in which it was made. There should always be more than the glass can hold. Now to the making of the shake. You make a milkshake with a milkshake machine. If you can find one, get the tried and true Hamilton Beach with the egg-shaped motor on top, preferably in avocado green. But beige will do. A milkshake machine has a single purpose: to make milkshakes. You don't make milkshakes in a blender or a food processor. Those machines will always overmix it. It's too powerful, and it needs to accomplish too many other tasks to be good at this one. If you don't have a milkshake machine, you make it by hand with a fork. You can use the same fork to test it. The recipe for a milkshake is simple: quality ice cream and a splash of milk. I saw someone say 2 or 3 scoops of ice cream and a half a cup of milk. Preposterous! You'll end up with a swampy, glip-glopping dishwater slop. You'll be hard-pressed to find a decent milkshake anywhere these days, unless you have a decent dairy bar near you. But these days, most dairy bars are now serving low-quality factory ice cream anyway. No fast food places can be relied upon. Let a Five Guys shake melt, and you'll see the snake oil they're hawking you as a milkshake these days. McDonald's used to serve quality ice milk. Now I'm dating myself. But if their machines are working at all, it's now soft-serve oil-based bullshit. The one fast food exception is Wendy's, and they're frosty. God knows how they make them now, but when Dave Thomas, the founder of the chain, was alive, he invented the Frosty, inspired by the milkshakes he drank in Detroit in his youth. It has always been a version of soft serve, but I'll make allowances. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the extortionate prices being charged for even low-quality milkshakes these days. I found myself in a mall food court in America a few weeks ago, don't ask, and I spotted a kiosk named Milkshake Lovers. Being a milkshake lover, I sauntered over to see just what they might have to offer, and perhaps chew the ear of the proprietor, who of course would be a fellow milkshake lover. When I got close enough to read the menu, I saw the least expensive menu item was $7, with prices for some items exceeding $17.
You don't put bourbon in or nothing? No. Just checking.
What's worse, the shakes were being made with low-quality soft-serve swill. Five Guys Burgers in London charges over £6 for their version of a milkshake. Some short-sighted commenter will cite the war in Ukraine, the war in Israel, Brexit, COVID, the cost of living crisis, inflation, liberals, conservatives, and aliens for these high prices as some sort of justification or rationalization. But 20 ounces of quality ice cream and a splash of milk should not require financial stress. If you can find a place that makes a decent milkshake that uses a proper milkshake machine, when the waitress fits the steel cup into place on the milkshake machine and switches it on, it is simultaneously the most exciting, blissful, and stressful moments you will ever experience in your life. At that moment, when the steel wand begins its high-frequency agitation of that simple pairing of ingredients, the potential for the perfect or the most dissatisfying milkshake is at its greatest. It is Schrodinger's legacy, only without the dead cat. And me if the waitress walks away, leaving it unsupervised. Then the balance is disrupted, weighing towards disappointment. No, a milkshake requires constant supervision and conservative preparation, and understanding of temperature and energy displacement. I can tell from across the establishment by the sounds emanating from the machine whether or not a successful product will result from her labors or neglect. The duration of the blend, the occurrence or absence of the fingernails on the chalkboard shrill of the mixing wand being run down the walls of the cup to pulverize errant ice cream, seeking refuge against the sides of the vessel. There is one establishment on which I can always rely for a quintessential milkshake, Chef's Diner in Watkins Glen, New York. It's not for the quality ingredients, as I'm sure they're using bog-standard food service ice cream, but rather the care the waitresses take in their preparation. A level of care is given milkshakes that is afforded no other menu item, or to their friendliness or customer service. It's an anomaly of quality and experience from this greasy spoon. Fanny makes sure we order our food along with our drinks if we're going to order milkshakes, which we always do, or we end up sitting for an inordinate amount of time waiting to order, as they take such a long time in preparing our milkshakes. Our waitress will disappear from service while producing the milkshakes. Other tables will be neglected. Often our entrees will be delivered by other servers before the milkshakes arrive. And it's not for some love or passion for producing milkshake that drives this phenomenon, as most of the time the disinterested waitress who work at Chef's often respond to a milkshake order with suppressed dread. And yet they commit themselves to the task of producing the most consistently satisfying milkshake I've ever had anywhere in the world. So enough of this bullshit. Read your ingredients, demand a high work ethic, demand quality, demand reasonable prices, demand better milkshakes. If you like that video and you want to see more like them, hit like, share, and subscribe.